Hey, I'm Pops, and I want to talk about the Marvels. I know, everyone's talking about the Marvels. I don't know if I'm going to be giving you more than you've already gotten, but I know one thing. I went through the trouble to make sure that we could
Captain
look at the
Rambeau?
trailer
What the heck?
and not have to worry about all the music. So we might be able to find a few shots and things like that that maybe you haven't seen yet. So I don't know, just my thought. Here's the thing: this movie was dead on arrival when it was announced, right? So the first movie made a lot of money. It was sandwiched right between two significant Avengers films. They bought all sorts of extra tickets, had massive giveaways. Let's get little girls, let them see themselves on screen. Let's buy out massive areas of theaters or whole theaters. All these things have come to light to help boost Captain Marvel. That's fine. Okay. Okay. Can they afford to do that again? I don't know. I wouldn't think so, but who knows what they're willing to try to do. So, so here we are, the Marvels. What do they do? Well, the first thing they do is this is directed by Nia DaCosta. She is a very young, inexperienced filmmaker. Her last film, are you ready? Her last film was Candyman. Kid you not. Remember that woke travesty, complete disaster, horror of a film that yeah. So imagine that. She's hired to do this film that was a complete financial mess, right? It grossed 61 US, 77 total. It made less than $100 million globally. Uh, Awful. But she was the first black female director to have a film finish number one at the box office. Uh huh. Yeah. Yeah, so that's who's going to run the Miss Marvel. That's going. I mean, the Marvel movie. It's considered a financial success because the budget was so low. It is a complete disaster. I'm sorry, everybody. I don't know anyone who liked that movie. That's who your director is. Then they decide that they're going to kind of demote Brie Larson. So it's not called Captain Marvel 2. It's just the Marvels because they're going to try to um, put her on the same level with Monica Rambeau and Kamala Khan. And I have to be honest, Aman Vellani, who plays the young actress that plays Kamala Khan, she is the best part of the trailer. And I've said, if Miss Marvel is among your better things that you have done in phase 4 into now phase 5, you are doing something wrong. And that is still the case. It's not a great show, not the thing for me. So we just jump into things. We don't have things that are answered because now we're at the point now where that you have to do the homework. It used to be where you could, if you did the Marvel movies, you would have more information. You might pick up more Easter eggs and references, but now they've stacked so many things on top of one another. The 5 year blip, people on planet, off planet, where people are. They've created so much complexity without any real plan or respect or reverence for what they did before. Most people will look at this and like, I don't exactly know where, you know, what am I looking at here with Sam Jackson? So, and that's what we get. Okay. Let's just jump ahead for a minute there. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And it's Monica Rambeau in space. She's looking at this like shield energy thing of some kind, and her solution is to look at this. That CGI looks terrible. Her solution is to float up to it and then touch it. That looks like Lightyear footage. I saw that and I paused and I was like, "What am I looking at?" It just looks terrible, and I think it's because they don't have any shadows or light or anything on the suit, and her face is just CGI'd in there or something. It's just so cartoon looking. I'm actually hoping that this is just rendering stuff that'll get replaced. Well, her solution of data gathering is to touch it because that worked for her in WandaVision. If you don't understand how she got to this place, she's the daughter of the character that was in Captain Marvel. But if you didn't watch WandaVision, you have no idea who she is or why she's relevant. She's the little girl who grew up to be an adult after the blip, and she walks through the field, the force field that Wanda had put around the small town that she was holding hostage, and basically has some sort of powers. Her nickname is Photon, but she's basically Captain Marvel different because they don't have time to supplant Brie Larson and treat Monica Rambeau with the respect that she deserves because she was a way more interesting Captain Marvel and character before this version of Carol Danvers was created. The old Carol Danvers was fine. Okay, so that's what happens first, and when they do, um, she just kind of gets zapped backwards towards the camera, and we can play some of this because we're going to get into funny time. That's going to happen here in a second because, as you know, we can't not have Marvel humor. This is what we get. Now, I guess Nick Fury is public knowledge. I don't know what people have been saying about this trailer. I try not to watch everybody's stuff. I downloaded the trailer, then I was like, the amount of music that they played this Beastie, which by the way, Marvel, you're trying to ruin Beastie Boys for me. It's not going to work. I'm just not participating with that part of it. So I took the Beastie Boys song out of this. Hat tip to Mr. Grant Gregory, who gave me a link to a site that helped me do that. So no Beastie Boys. I don't. So she's blipped and changed places with Kamala. I don't know what that means or how that worked. I don't think that's what we're meant to know or whatever. It's just something that's happening. Some sort of displacement is happening. I actually don't understand how she knows as much about Nick Fury, but that's just me. So yeah, it's just played for gag.
Where's Captain Rambeau?
They cut to her. She falls to a little. So there was a quick little portal shot right there, and she falls on some sort of moon planet or something. And then, so that's what we have here. And here's what she gets to fight. Yeah. And then it cuts, and then you have another displacement scene. So we're not seeing that fight scene or that conflict. We're cutting to the scene that is the after credit scene in Miss Marvel when she has a power displacement, and Carol Danvers' version switches with Kamala Khan. So now Kamala is in Brie Larson's body, and that's how Miss Marvel ended. So if you remember that, that's what's happened in this part. And this is actually all that footage basically being redone for that. And man, Brie Larson, I thought she gained a bunch of weight and was working out. She looks so small to me, but she's a small lady. So we have more cuts, and then basically Monica Rambeau, who looks really young, shows up with Nick Fury to see Kamala. And I swore Monica.
Or Kamala Khan.
Yeah, here's Kamala, who acts like a 9-year-old and not the teenager that's been doing some of this for a while.
Okay, so
All right, so let me see if I can get.
okay, so our powers are
Now, see, she looks fine there. I don't know why she looked so terrible in that first shot. Again, take the music out. We can actually hear.
I can manipulate.
Okay, so the powers are tangled. And if we go back just one shot here, the family was actually pretty good in Miss Marvel. That was actually the element that's good. So she's caught by these. Look here. Here we have the background with our bad guy stuff. We're going to get to her in a minute because yeah, we have to have a female villain. I don't know why. And then here she's being caught.
Light energy.
Yeah, she says my powers have to do with light energy.
Are entangled. I can manipulate light energy.
I didn't know that's exactly what her powers were. I don't know. We, the audience, haven't seen her experimenting and showing us what her powers are. So maybe that will be something that can get explained a little bit. We just know she walked through the force field dome of WandaVision and she has some sort of power manipulation. I didn't think it was called light manipulation, but hey, listen, that's what they're going for. Yeah. So they tell her, and Kamala is played as one of the most erratic and emotional teenagers imaginable. Like, I know Tom Holland was fine for folks. People really love Spider Boy. I think he grew into a Spider Man. He was not Spider Man. He was never like played up as being smart and clever and really, you know They would just would make things, he just made his web shooters, but you didn't really have the evolution. But basically, then just Tony Stark just gave him everything. But with Kamala, she's not. I don't see her as even remotely interesting and relatable in this way. In this show, she was more like an emotionally uh, conflicted teenager. So that's why the show held up okay, because it just played like a teenage girl. She just was mailed her powers, and here we go. Here, watch this scene.
Totally show you.
Yeah, so she just does something, and now she changes again. And see how look, and again another shot of Bree. Oh, does Bree enjoy doing that? Like, I don't even know that Bree's acting in that shot. Like, I feel like that's the version of Bree that we in the public get most of the time. Anyway,
Hey, where's our daughter?
yeah. So everyone's being kind of bounced around of who's where, and nobody knows what's going
Wherever
on.
you were.
All right, so now Carol was fighting somewhere, so they have body swapped, and now Kamala is here, and yeah, we're going to get what Marvel thinks we want, or thinks you want. I think Marvel cares what I want. The kitty cat. That's right. We have to have the kitty cat. Everybody wants the kitty cat, right? Uh, okay. Okay. It's a flurkin. For any of you who didn't see the movie, the flurkins is not really a cat. It resembles a cat in our world, but it's like an alien. How do I explain it? Their mouths are like a pocket dimension. Like, it's like this thing opens up and it's like these tentacles and these giant things come out and attacks and consumes. So anyway, that's what we're getting ready to see. All right, there you go. And it's and see the cat just is sitting there like nothing ever happened. Like, it's not phased, but it's very shocking and dramatic and played for both intensity and laughs. And you can see now the gag is you can see Kamala's face. Ah, oh my God, Z's. Okay, cut to something else that's out of order. So it's probably back to where we were before. And then other shots of them in a ship, and they're moving around before we come to this place. Now, so where are we now? Okay, so the other character that is going to be introduced is this place. I'm pretty sure they're not going to. I don't know what they're going to do. I'll be perfectly honest. In Marvel, this place is called Aladna, Aladna, or Aldana. I thought it was Aladna. Anyway, and the women get to choose their mates. The men have no right to do so. And Prince Yan, he become king and he abolished his practice. So there's this gender patriarchy conversation surrounding Prince Yan. Kid you not. This is where we're going, folks. So yeah, okay, and it's introduced in the Captain Marvel series. By the way, this series was rebooted like a million times, so getting you that exact issue, it's the 2014 series, so you'll have to message. It's Kelly Sue DeConnick. She is unbearably cringe, but I can get you the exact information if you want to try to subject yourself to Captain Marvel comic books. However, a lot in this place again. It's a matriarchy until Prince Yan comes into play. Prince Yan, of course, is going to be played by Park Sejun, and he's from Parasite. And that's what we're going to get in just a moment. So I assume that's where we're going. We're going to Aladna. I'm not quite sure. They're teaming up, whatever. So we see all these different cutaways, and this has nothing to do with the scene we just saw. Now we're just seeing different fights. We see Kamala fighting someone here, right? It's a little bit easier without the music because you can actually just kind of take your time and look at it. Okay, so I assume we're going to have an explanation on what is happening with the musical sequence. Everybody's like, well, there's going to be a musical number and whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, hold on. This actually also makes sense because the Prince Yan character, there is an element in the comic that I barely remember this. Everyone wants to speak in rhyme. It translates into song and dance numbers for the movie. So Prince Yan plot is like this misunderstood um, marriage proposal, because I think we're going to have an X-Men character, because there's been rumors that Lila Channing um, is in it. So I don't know exactly if that's particularly true or not, or we're going to have this X-Men character kind of shoehorned in there or not. But this Aladnian world has this thing about song and dance numbers. That's how they're going to communicate. So this is why this is like this. Obviously, they are thinking that with Kamala Khan, even though it's all Pakistani stuff, they are going to go with more of like a Bollywood theatrics, which from what I'm experiencing is not the boom of the film industry over there. It is more like action adventure stuff is what everybody's wanting, with a few song and dance numbers. But yeah, kid you not, the Aladnians, this is how we're going to do things, I guess. Everyone speaks in rhymes. It's going to be a lot of song, and if that's not cringy enough for you, imagine Prince Yan mixing up things and basically still being somehow engaged to Carol. So it's going to be Carol's going to be the bride, and then it's going to probably be a switcheroo where she will let him pick or something. It's like so it will all be this big matriarchy patriarchy thing about who gets to pick a bride, who gets to pick their mate, and all of that wrapped in the an environment that speaks in rhyme and dance. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what people are saying about all this. I don't want to know, because I can't believe it. I'm actually it's even worse than I thought it would be. Because I want to go back to that. All right, so let me move through these scenes. So right, so we have this. Okay, so that was the scene that I paused on. Like, what in the okay? So again, she's sucked into this world of singing and dancing. Everyone speaks in rhyme with the Aladnians, and for some reason, she's dressed like octopus gear with people standing around and looking at her. So I'm assuming she's been picked to be the bride. They present her this way because you can see all these other people just standing around. I don't think she's in the middle of a number. And again, it's going to be this matriarchy, patriarchy thing. And by the way, I'm going to call a shot. I will not be shocked if it's not really Carol, because of the body swapping. Kamala is in here somehow. And you have some sort of weird, the teenage girl is the one that might end up getting married kind of thing. I'm just going to throw it out there as a very likely thing that I can see. All right. Here's your dancing, changes everything, everyone. All right. So then we have more blah, blah, blah stuff happening. All right. Excuse me. Okay. So she has, okay, there we go. So there's Prince Yan. So this is our, I don't know that I can call him a male antagonist. I don't think he's a villain. I think he's just the bad. He's a male. Say males are bad. And I know I tell you, males are bad. So yeah. Um, I will say that I am shocked that in the lead up to this, I don't know that there has been a ton of talk about this part of the film, other than there's been like, oh, there's going to be um, song and dance numbers, a full blown musical number. And I'm like, okay, well, how are they going to make that work? Are they going to actually do this whole Aladdin thing? Is that what they're going to do? Well, I guess surely they are. So I think there'll be a little bit of a battle sequence that's coming here in a minute, because you're going to see some of that. 'Cause I think that we can't not have action for so long. The AI writers have to have that in here. So here's what we're going to have here. They're going to fight the Flurkins. So there's a bunch of Flurkins. Kitty, kitty, kitties. That's right. So the Flurkins, somebody's going to get some kitties, and we're going to have some kitty cat fights. Okay, so there we got our first shot. She's walking very slowly. Gotta get it. Nope. Ugh. There she goes. Okay, so this is Girl Boss. Now, again, major change from the comic book lore. I I can't believe that she's playing Darben. I don't know. I got to be honest. I'm really surprised that they did not just let it be Darben. It's a male dude. Why would they not? Why would I make the male guy the? Okay, so This is a Ron Lim character. It dates back, I think, to Silver Surfer, and it's a Kree soldier, basically a coup about who's going to take over the Kree Empire, basically, right? The Skrulls killed the Emperor before, and this literally dates all the way back to, as far as I remember, this actually dates back to like some of the origins of the Silver Surfer themselves, right? This is part of all of some of that kind of. Now, I don't know they're going to be so bold or brash and introduce a Silver Surfer at the end of this movie. That would not shock me because they need something. They're going to need something bigger, like a Silver Surfer / Galactus reveal, something maybe that could point to it. Likely, it's more like a voice off screen or them talking about doing it, and all the nerds that are in the know or will race to Wikipedia to seem like they know what they're talking about, and it will be like, "Oh, they're talking about the Surfer, don't you see? Oh, the next movie." That's what they do. They always tease up something next instead of giving you a moment to enjoy what you have. So, but basically, she is a race and gender swapped version of like the Ronan accuser scale Kree warrior Darben that dates back to Silver Surfer stuff. So those of you who want that kind of information, there you go. I will read. I actually found. So at the bottom of some of my notes, I have the actual plot. What they've actually, because they will send out this thing called a boilerplate. A boilerplate gives you the reviewer fundamental information as far as what the summaries are, what the cast is, all the creator teams, those kinds of things. So you get this little thing called a boilerplate, and it kind of just gives you some of these fundamentals. I will read you their boilerplate. We will pull that up as well, so you guys have that. So I'm shocked that I'm getting stuff on this movie, and I'm sorry I spent so long to get to it. I don't care. That's the problem. I don't care. Okay, so on we go. Uh, Girl Boss. We'll show more Girl Boss in a minute. I have a photo pulled up for her. All right, so we have just them standing around, which, by the way, note. Monica's front and center, and Bree is in the background. I mean, I don't know if that's where they're going to go with things. I said that if you remember with Doctor Strange 2, with Doctor Strange mom, right? The Multiverse of Madness, the alternate future, they had Monica's mom, Maria, as the Captain Marvel. And I was like, well, this just shows that they are not tied to Brie Larson. They will be more than happy to move away from her. She is not the box office magnet that they thought. And if they want to make a race change and go with a Monica Rambeau, they will do it. And I have to be honest, at least that is a better comic story arc because Monica actually leads the Avengers for a while. Monica actually has a better and bigger footprint in the Avengers and the Marvel universe than this knockoff version that Carol become, because Carol's like this manufactured female superhero boss they just make, and she behaves more like a villain than she does a hero half the time, to be honest. Very authoritarian, very, very nasty, and just, yeah. All right. So we have fight scenes, energy blasts. And this is Girl Boss. This is a little confusing when I first watched this. I was like, wait a minute, who are we fighting? Are they fighting each other? Is this them fighting Carol? No, we're going to do I shoot you, then I pause, and then I'm going to go the other direction. I shoot you. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Carol's there. So now I shoot you. So it's a 3-on-1. We all take turns, not actually anything that makes sense because it shouldn't. And then, oh my gosh, this girl is cute and sweet and nice. And, it was like Miss Marvel was fine. And look at how they dress her and how they do her hair and just, oh, it's terrible. It's terrible.
No. We're not a team. We're not a team.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't have anything to say about all this. And I don't think there's anything else of any significance at the end. I think it's just, yeah. Okay. So let me get you guys on with a couple other little things that I found. I'm doing a ton of work for you, so you don't have to. Sorry, guys. Anyways, what are your thoughts while I try to find this? I'm trying to close windows and find the ones that I want to show you to make sure I have notes and I have all sorts of stuff. Okay, so this is this one. Okay, it's good too because have you get what they actually are saying about this movie. Okay, so this is um what is the plot of the Marvel? So this is the actual boilerplate. The official synopsis says, in Marvel Studios Marvels, Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, has reclaimed her identity from the tyrannical Kree and taken revenge on the Supreme Intelligence. But unintended consequences see Carol shouldering the burden of a destabilized universe. Oh my God. When her duties send her to an anomalous wormhole linked to a Kree revolutionary, her powers become entangled with that of Jersey City superfan Kamala Harris, aka Miss Marvel, and Carol's estranged niece, now Saber astronaut Captain Monica Rambeau. Okay, hold on. So Carol's estranged niece. Are we changing the relationship structure between Carol and Maria? Hmm. Together, this unlikely trio must team up to learn to work in concert to save the universe as the Marvels. Of course, they got to save the universe. They can't just, have an adventure. But okay, there you go. So the early parts, she was with something called Saber. Now that's Monica Rambeau, Jersey City super fan. Wow, that's pretty hardcore. So all right, so yeah, there's going to be a wormhole to the Kree revolutionary powers become entangled. Blah, blah, November 10th. So that was the new boilerplate that popped off with the latest of the changes. I was trying to think if there was any other major casting or pieces of information that I had for you guys on all this. Because what I'm going to do is just do a little bit of work and then put it on a shelf. I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming this is going to go to theaters. I don't know that they are going to yank this and put it on Disney Plus Direct. Would it surprise me that it goes to Disney Direct? Not at all, really. But wow, it was a dead on arrival when it was developed. But I'm so excited to hear about how Carol is so incompetent that she wandered through a wormhole and somehow the powers are all askew. And it takes 3 of the girls to beat one girl who replaced the guy. And then they're going to go and have a matriarchy patriarchy debate with Prince Yan on a planet where everyone speaks in rhyme and song and dance numbers. And there's kitty cats, lots of kitty cats. You think one kitty cat was great. Now we're going to have a bunch of kitty cats. Yep. The Marvels 2023. There's my take. Now I can go watch Ass. I can't wait to see what Ass had to say. I saw the thumbnail, so I know what he's going to say, but I haven't seen it, and I know that there's a thumbnail, and because I didn't want to watch Friday Night Tights because I hadn't gotten into all the stuff that they talked about. So yeah, now I get to go watch everybody's stuff because I'm sure everyone's looking forward to this, right? Uh huh. Yeah. All right. I'm Pops. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Right?